Hello and welcome back to Expert Consultant. It's still E3 week, we're still hitting trailers, and we're going to go over my favorite one today, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I've queued up the Japanese trailer, which has unique footage that's not in the English version. We're going to take a look at it, do some breakdown, do some analysis, kind of look into it and see what we can find, any references to old Shin Megami Tensei stuff, or maybe some hints at what we might expect in the future. I've watched some of the Treehouse stuff. I may bring it up in here, just kind of answer any questions that we might come up or theories I might have. But looks super good, and let's dive into it. Let's go.
太古より法の
So we
神
got
と
Battles of Angels and Demons,
そ
very
れ以外
classic.
の神々は争い合っておった。
Now this thing I love to death. It's so odd, it's so weird. I get why they didn't put it in the English trailer because I think it might scare off some of the Western audience they're marketing for, but it looks super weird and super cool. I think it's probably going to be a boss fight or obviously some cutscene going on right now, but just wanted to say how cool that looks to me. Finally. Alright, so one interesting thing I have figured out here is that, well, since the main character is going to school, and I think that's obviously more of a like holdover from Persona, I do think they are trying to be a little bit more inspired from Persona, especially after the success of 5. They've obviously done teenage boys before, but we've never actually seen them in a school setting, I guess, aside from, no, at least not in a mainline entry. And I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not one, like, if they are inspired in some way by Persona, that's fine, as long as Persona 4 is my favorite game of all time. So, like, please, Shin Megami Tensei got me in, or Persona got me into Shin Megami Tensei. So, I'm fine with inspiration. You know, I think it's an interesting take. So,
私たちが暮らしてきた東京が実は嘘だって言ったら信じる
An interesting thing is he's waking up in another Tokyo, and that obviously leads to believe the Shin Megami Tensei 3 connection, which I am totally hoping for, not expecting, but really hoping for. He definitely is in a very similar designed world, in a way that you would think SMT3 would look like, even if that world, of course, whatever happens to it gets reborn, destroyed. It looks in a way more destroyed than it was back in the day, but it's, since the concept of vortex worlds is brought up, the idea of many different dimensions and worlds kind of can help explain that away of kind of there's different places in the universe, so there's still a possibility of connection to 3, especially with the idea of God being dead, which pretty much makes it feel almost like a direct sequel to either 3 or Apocalypse. So both of those options are there. We just have to, I guess, wait and see which one they're going to go with, if at all. Gosh, I love how open it looks. Yeah, the big thing is this. I'm so curious what they're going to do with this guy. It's like we've never seen like this human / demon fusion before in part of the story. It obviously has happened in Strange Journey, obviously SMT3. We've seen the idea before, but it's never been in the actual game itself. Obviously the end of 4, it usually happens later on in the game or at the end. So seeing this kind of human demon hybrid or whatever he is pop up is very intriguing what they're going to go with, as that's like a part of the plot. It's a part of the story. So it's like, what are they going to do with it? I'm very interested to find out. I wish I had theories, idea. He's obviously going to fuse with you and give you the power, but he might come out kind of the way that guys, Dagda, I think his name is. I probably butchered that, from Apocalypse, kind of as a companion demon character who sticks with you and kind of voices his opinion throughout the game.
死にたくなければ手を取れ
I love that fusion form. It's so good.
人よ
Kind of the idea of like fusing with the demon to get like use your powers. God, look at the Naruto run I just noticed. But yeah, this is all new footage that's not in the English version. But yeah, you have the demon traveling with you. That's incredible. Like just almost like a more and more Pokemon, what we want out of Pokemon, right? And just look at that art direction. Look at that free roaming. It's finally that Shin Megami we've always wanted, and that open world, that kind of being able to explore, because it has such Megami Tensei has such incredible art direction, though we never actually get to fully explore the world that they present us with. It's either hallways a la SMT3 or SMT4, which is on the is still good, but it's on the 3DS, so they're pretty limited about what they could do. Now being on the like first console release in years, they can finally do something with really cool interactive art direction. Gosh, I love how good it looks. Just consistently amazing. Now, I wanted to talk about the combat design and the UI. If you haven't played it, because most people haven't, it is the exact same looking as Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I have to admit, it does weird me out a little bit. I liked Tokyo Mirage Sessions aside its story. I did not like the story at all, but it, I mean, was a great game. The UI being so similar kind of weirds me out. It's the exact same with very minor changes. So, and look at that. So you get the Magatsuki counter in the top right, obviously an SMT3 thing. So there's some connection, and then you have the bottom left. It looks like a Magatsuki move, so you get enough power, and then you can kind of unleash it, which I honestly think Tokyo Mirage Sessions had a very similar style. So I think for better or for worse, the combat UI is the exact same, and they're definitely kind of going off that. They may even be inspirations from the combat of Tokyo Mirage. So I'm not too excited about it, but it's just the UI. Just after Persona 5, I guess I want more crazy, like really interactive and fresh UI like that. Just seeing the same as Mirage Sessions, kind of a little disappointing, but still pretty good. I'm really happy that the actual moves in combat are actual animations as opposed to what they have been. Got a really cool looking new demon there. Another really cool looking. I love, man, the new demon designs that we're seeing are really cool. It's time for some fresh faces. Of course, we're really going anime here. Music's still so good.
世界の裏側では秩序と混沌が対立している。
I think, yeah. I love, look at that shop owner. Look at that. Look at that junk shop. Gosh, I just love how creepy it is. So good. Oh yeah, and then the new Cathedral of Shadows. Now, I love how every single SMT Persona is always how they interpret their fusion and how they just interpret their like either Velvet Room or Cathedral of Shadows. It's so cool to me. Just everyone is so fresh and unique, and I really like what they're doing with this. Of this lady that runs this temple and uses it.
神が定められた禁を破ったというのか。
全ての貶められた存在の代わりに邪魔する者には死を我が復讐の牙を受けてみろ。
And so the thing I noticed here is like, so Cert's right here, and he's doing some blasts, and I think it looks like he might be a boss, right? I almost feel like they're going to go back to the old style of like how SMT3 had the bosses were more or less demons that you would later be able to acquire or fuse in either future series or future games in the series, or however. I wonder if they're going to go back to that kind of the demons themselves being bosses rather than just being individual characters, which is fine. I kind of like the unique bosses of 4 that you can't fuse, but it's just something I noticed. Yeah.
新女神転生5
And yeah, that's it. Oh, November 11th for Japan. We're getting shortly after.
初回限定版
And that
禁断の
beautiful
ナホビの
collector's
ボックス
edition.
数量限定のた
Oh,
め
yeah, I'm gonna try to get that.
早めの予約を推奨
I'm really excited to import and just play
その目で
Shin Megami
確かめ
Tensei.
るといい神と悪魔が
See?
人に
Oh, one more thing.
東京に何をもたらすのか
Okay. All right, very good. So yeah, there is gameplay footage up if you guys want to check that out. It's like you can find it. There's more Japanese footage out there than there is English from the Treehouse, but super good. I am really excited for SMT5. I'm hoping it's been a while. It's been a good while since we've had a SMT game that was not a remake, just a full-fledged mainline title, especially. I mean, heck, 4 was, not counting Apocalypse, 4 was like 2013, I think. Wow. So yeah, it's time. They've spent a long time on this game. I do hope it holds up. I do hope it is as good as it looks. The story, I'm so interested in. SMT has some of my favorite stories out there, and it's like, will it be a sequel to 3? That's the question. Will it reference it? Will it reference 3 or Apocalypse? With God being dead and then Lucifer from 3 coming down. It's starting to look like we actually might have some heavy references, but that's if we're lucky, right? Anyway, well, thanks for watching, and play what you want to play.